Empty Melbourne rentals. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from Domain sent to me by a viewer with regards to the empty rentals in Melbourne due to the coronavirus outbreak. Remember everyone, property always goes up. Negative gearing is a sure way to make a fortune. We are getting FOMO articles all the time on news.com and in the paper. I think the last one was a waiter who has 20 properties, just bragging about, you got to do it like this, you got to do it like this. But how's he going to handle it if all of a sudden half his properties don't have tenants and they just stop paying? Or if the value of them all drop down 20%? How do you think that'll happen? Do you think the banks will be happy just looking at those newspaper articles and going, it's okay, you don't need to pay? Maybe. We are living in a clown world now. Crazy stuff is going on all around the world. So let's have a look at this, guys. The coronavirus outbreak. Melbourne rentals sit empty as students wait in China. Now, this virus, some of the things that I'm seeing and I'm getting sent is just looking like it is having a much greater impact than SARS had. And understandably, that can flow on to other economies. And we are, well, Australia is more vulnerable than others. Now, we'll have a look. We'll look at a chart that I want to bring up. And this is the Foreign Investment Review Board. The black line is the percentage of building approvals that were for foreign investment. Now, while this isn't necessarily related to students renting apartments in Melbourne, it shows you how much foreign investment money went into buying a property. A big chunk of that was apartments. A big chunk of those were purchased for international students that may be coming over here. Keep that in mind. Maybe their parents are buying an apartment for little Jimmy as he comes over to study. Melbourne's rental market is feeling the effects of the coronavirus, as student apartments sit empty while their potential tenants wait in China for Australia to lift its travel restrictions. There are fears if the Chinese students don't arrive soon, the apartments may stay empty for the rest of the year. So how would that help you if you're an investor that you've bought into one of these apartments, a mum and dad investor, maybe you've watched the Barefoot Investor, maybe your super is in this? How will that affect your ability to pay your mortgage? Are we going to see potentially an increase in the arrears rates? How many people have invested in 1, 2, 3, 4 of these things? 20 of these things? How many of you met someone on the street that's, bought 3 or 4 apartments? What if they're all in the same complex? Or what if they're all the same demographic that are using them? Bell Property Carlton Director Scott McElroy, bloody hell, said there were between 20 and 30 properties on their books that had been rented to Chinese students before the coronavirus outbreak, still waiting for them to arrive. There's some conflicting stories about what's going on in China, Mr. McElroy said. If students don't come out in the next couple of weeks, they might not come out at all this year. Such properties will be hard to rent to others, including professional couples, given they were thought of as student buildings, he said. Well, yes, do you want to live in student accommodation? Do you want to live with a bunch of uni students in the apartments around you? Even the well-behaved Asians. But then again, they can party just as hard as everyone else, at least back in my uni days. I don't know, do kids still party? They still do. They still have crazy parties. Although they don't have dollar drinks. They probably all sit around and fret about the world coming to an end for climate change, or just party making banners and signs, I guess. So such properties will be hard to rent. I've read that already. While real estate agents are waiting to see what happens in the rental market, student accommodation providers are also facing uncertainty. Domain understands at least 70 apartments are sitting empty in Uni Lodge's College Square building on Lygon Street in Carlton. Dozens more are thought to be sitting empty in other student accommodation buildings across the city, according to one source with knowledge of the matter who declined to speak publicly. Would you have expected that, guys? I know I was looking at investing in one of these things years ago, just out of interest. What do you pay? A couple $100 grand? Usually you have to buy it outright. You can't borrow for it. So maybe there won't be an arrears risk arising out of this, but what does this tell you? What does this tell you? Unilodge alone operates many low-cost apartment buildings for students across Melbourne, including in the Warren in the southeast and Bundura in the north, as well as 2 College Square buildings in Carlton. While the rental market is in holding pattern, sales across the city, especially in pockets where local Chinese buyers are moving to, have slowed. So there we go. That's probably Box Hill in trouble down in Melbourne. That's probably my suburb up here. Sunnybank. Bugger. There goes the property drive up. NAB Group chief economist Alan Oster said the bank's internal data showed home sales in Box Hill had slowed this year compared to the same time in 2019. Property sales normally spike at this time of year, while foreign buyers travel to Australia for Chinese New Year. Sales overall are down, Mr. Oster said. Foreign buyers have come down a lot. However, Fletcher's Baldwin North auctioneer, Mark Fletcher, said sales were going well despite the coronavirus, with homes selling well as Melbourne property market continues to recover. Okay, that's a different sector. You're not going to be buying a home as a student-targeted investment. What we're seeing here and what this article is telling us, it's showing us the actual impact that this virus is having directly on an aspect of our economy. And I'll do it, guys. I will do it. I will bring up my second favorite website just to share with everyone. This is the Australian economy. This is the complexity. We're 59th in the world. And remember, look at all our exports. Good range of colonial quality products. Gold, iron ore, coal. Look at what we're importing. So if that dollar starts going down, great. It's going to be great for all these exporters. How many of these companies are offshore, foreign owned and sending all the profits overseas anyway? But that's an entirely different discussion. So, that'll probably boost the buying opportunity or the affordability of these products. But everything else we import here will go up. So maybe, guys, if the dollar sinks enough, car manufacturing may come back in Australia. May come back. I think if Australia is going to have manufacturing again, it's going to be at a different level. I think we've got a chance where you'd have micro manufacturing. Small shops making boutique things using more advanced technology. Could be a different world. What if you could order a car online, have it designed specific to your thing, and then have it fabricated in a local factory using machine tools? Be a bit different. There you go. Patent pending. But we'll have a look here. There you go, guys. This is the destination for the majority of our exports. Where are our imports coming in? Oh, biggest one is China as well. As we saw in the video I did earlier today about the knick-knack business that pretty much fell apart because there was a 1 month delay in their shipments. What do you think is going to happen with all of this trade from overseas being delayed as well? Interesting times, everyone. Interesting times. So, last weekend, he auctioned a property in Bentley Street, Surrey Hills, that was bought by a woman still in China with her children bidding on her behalf for a 3-bedroom home. Kay and Burton Hawthorne director Scott Patterson said sales in other areas of Melbourne popular with Chinese Australian buyers were slower than usual. Fewer people were coming through open for inspections in suburbs including Baldwin North and Kew, given some people were in self-imposed quarantine after visiting China for New Year's celebrations, he said. The North Baldwin market is very slow because around 80% of the sales there are people from the Asian Australian community, Mr. Patterson said. While sales were slower, sale prices were not being dramatically affected, he said. Not yet. International property listings portal Jarway has also reported a drop in Chinese buyer activity due to the coronavirus. In real estate markets around the world where Chinese buyers are usually active, we have seen a reduction in the presence of Chinese buyers at auctions, a similar decrease at inspections and open houses, and the stalling between contracting, signing, and final statements of some transactions involving Chinese buyers, he said. Slower sales and fewer buyers from China may not be a problem for very long in Melbourne and wider Australia, with predictions they will look to buy locally after the danger from the outbreak subsides. Yeah, in what, 6 months' time? I don't think there's an end in sight yet. Has a cure been declared? China is doing its level best, but as a totalitarian regime that's... I mean, they're welding people into buildings, guys. Countries like Thailand, the US, UK, Canada and Australia, which have good healthcare systems and highly ranked ability to react to viral outbreaks, are likely to benefit from an increase in buyer activity, he said. Yes, but these countries are also dependent on imports from China for a lot of their, what little manufacturing they still have. And our economy, our cost of living is going to shoot up if all of our imported products that are not sourced from China get more expensive because there's reduced supply. But I mean, this is domain. Of course, they've got the blinkers on. They're just focusing on positive spin for real estate. They asked Unilodge about the number of apartments, and they didn't respond by the deadline. So, guys, there we have it. There we have it. The impact of the coronavirus is already being felt on property here in Australia. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Do you think this is going to have a long-term impact on Australia? Do you think our GDP growth is going to look bad and we're headed to a recession? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. If you're a fan and you want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can share the content, get the word out there. Really appreciate it, guys. It all helps. We also have Patreon, where you can join and make a monthly donation. You can also join the channel here on YouTube if you want to get access to badges and emojis handcrafted by me. We've got affiliate links with Amazon and eBay for your consumer purchases. We also have affiliate links for Kucoin and Independent Reserve for the crypto traders out there. We receive a small commission, doesn't cost you a cent. Finally, we have pocket squares we make on our very own website, and PayPal if you want to support us that way. Thank you everyone for your support. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.